You've been told to hydrate in the morning. That is good advice. It truly is. But what if I told you that how you hydrate and what you choose to drink could actually be the very thing putting your brain in danger? As a doctor who treats the brain, I see this happen all the time. Every week, I sit across from people who genuinely believe they are making healthy choices. They start their day with a glass of fruit juice or a diet soda, thinking, this must be good for me. But they are tragically mistaken. There is a physiological storm that brews inside the older body upon waking. Your blood is thicker, your pressure is rising, your vessels are tighter, and choosing the wrong drink during this fragile time is like pouring fuel on a fire. The very first liquid that passes your lips in the morning sets off a cascade of chemical reactions deep inside your system. These reactions can either protect your brain or place it under immense strain, dramatically increasing your stroke risk. So today, here on Stroke and Heart Attack, we are going to turn on the lights and expose this hidden danger. This conversation is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to dismantle fear by giving you clear, honest, scientific truth. We are going to dissect 5 popular morning drinks that may be silently harming your brain. And most importantly, I will reveal the #1 foundational mistake that most people make, a mistake that makes all the other drinks infinitely more dangerous. This is a health conversation many people over 60 have never had. I want you to listen carefully, not just for yourself, but for the people who love you, and for the people who count on you. Please stay with me through the very end, because the final mistake we discuss is the key that unlocks why everything else can go so wrong. Let's begin. Let us begin with a beverage that has become a symbol of the modern morning. The sweet, creamy iced coffee, often customized with flavored syrups and whipped cream. It feels like an affordable luxury, a treat to start the day. But from a neurological and vascular perspective, this drink is one of the most damaging concoctions you can pour into an aging body. It delivers a devastating 1-2 punch, especially in the morning. The inflammatory sugar onslaught. A typical medium-sized flavored coffee drink can contain anywhere from 40 to 80 grams of sugar. That is the equivalent of 10 to 20 teaspoons of pure sugar. When this massive sugar load hits your system first thing in the morning, your body is in a vulnerable state. After an overnight fast, your cells are primed for energy, but this overwhelming flood of sugar becomes a shock wave. It causes a violent spike in your blood glucose. Your pancreas works overtime to pump out insulin, but a key change with aging is a decrease in insulin sensitivity. That means your cells no longer respond as well to insulin signal to absorb the sugar. The result is prolonged periods of high blood sugar circulating through your body. This condition, called hyperglycemia, is intensely inflammatory. Sugar molecules act like tiny shards of glass, scraping and damaging the delicate single-cell thick inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium. This endothelial dysfunction is the ground zero for cardiovascular disease. The damage creates rough patches where bad LDL cholesterol becomes trapped, oxidized, and begins forming dangerous plaques, leading to atherosclerosis, the narrowing of arteries that causes most ischemic strokes. The caffeine-induced constriction. On top of that inflammatory bath, we add caffeine. Caffeine itself is not always the villain, but its timing and dosage matter. In a body that is already in a state of mild morning dehydration, caffeine's effects are amplified. It triggers a strong fight-or-flight response, surging your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones have a direct effect on your blood vessels. They cause them to constrict, a process called vasoconstriction. So now you are simultaneously inflaming your arteries from the inside while squeezing them from the outside due to caffeine. This combination dramatically raises your blood pressure. Your heart must now pump much harder to move blood through these narrowed, inflamed vessels. It's a recipe for placing immense shear stress on existing plaques, potentially causing one to rupture and form a clot. I once consulted with a patient. His name was David. He was 68 years old. He loved his morning vanilla latte. He was diligent in other areas of his health. But one morning, he suffered a TIA, a mini-stroke. His blood work revealed elevated inflammatory markers and clear signs of insulin resistance, all fueled by this daily, seemingly innocent habit. The brain-saving solution: go black, or close to it. Learn to appreciate the taste of black coffee. In moderation, it has been linked to several health benefits, including a lower stroke risk in some studies. If black coffee is too bitter, the problem is often low-quality beans. Try switching to a better bean. Use real fat, not sugar. If you must add something, choose a small splash of real cream or whole milk. The natural fat helps to slow caffeine absorption, making the effect smoother and less jarring on your system. Flavor with spices, not syrup. A sprinkle of cinnamon can help with blood sugar regulation. A dash of unsweetened cocoa powder adds antioxidants. But you must avoid the flavored syrup pumps. They are your brain's enemy.
For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that a glass of orange juice is part of a healthy breakfast. It is one of the most successful and one of the most dangerous marketing myths of the last century. When you drink a glass of bottled or boxed fruit juice, even if the label says 100% juice or not from concentrate, you are not drinking a health food. You are, in practical terms, drinking a can of soda that happens to contain a little vitamin C. Let's break it down. A whole orange does contain sugar, but that sugar is packaged inside a beautiful, fibrous matrix. That fiber is your friend. When you eat the orange, the fiber forms a gel-like mesh in your digestive system. It dramatically slows down the breakdown and absorption of sugar. Your insulin rises gently, your blood sugar stays under control. But when you juice 3 or 4 oranges, you obliterate and discard nearly all of that protective fiber. What you are left with is a highly concentrated glass of sugar, specifically fructose. Fructose is metabolized almost exclusively by your liver. When the liver is suddenly overwhelmed with a large dose of fructose, it has no choice but to convert much of it into triglycerides, a form of fat that is a well-established major stroke risk factor. This process also drives non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and contributes to worsening insulin resistance. So that glass of healthy juice causes the same kind of inflammatory spike as a can of cola. It damages your arteries the same way. Whatever antioxidant or vitamin content exists in that glass is trivial compared to the metabolic harm done by the concentrated sugar on an aging body. The brain-saving solution: eat your fruit. Never drink it. Peel and eat an orange. You get the vitamins, you get the fiber, you feel full, and your blood sugar stays stable. Water is the best thirst quencher. If you are thirsty, your body is asking for water, not sugar. The splash for flavor. If you truly love juice and struggle to part with it, use it as a flavoring, not a beverage. Pour 1 tablespoon into a glass of still or sparkling water. You will still enjoy the taste, without the dangerous sugar load. I see so many of you in the comments trying so hard to do the right thing. You read the labels, you trust what the ads say, you genuinely want to take care of yourself and your family. And yet you end up being misled by marketing that promises health, but delivers something else entirely. Does this story about healthy sweet coffees sound familiar to you? Have you ever thought you were making a smart choice, only to realize later it was hurting you? If so, I'd really like to hear from you in the comments, because when you share your story, you help someone else feel seen, not alone. And please, don't go anywhere just yet, because the next drink we are going to talk about is one that millions of parents still give to their children every morning, thinking it is pure health in a box. But the truth behind it is far more shocking.
This is a big point of confusion for many people I meet. The logic feels so simple. It has 0 sugar and 0 calories, so it must be a safe alternative. I hear it all the time. I switched to diet soda to be healthy. Unfortunately, the truth is far more complicated. A growing body of scientific evidence is painting a troubling picture. Large-scale, long-term observational studies have consistently shown a strong correlation between the regular consumption of artificially sweetened beverages and a significantly increased risk of stroke, heart disease, and even dementia. Now, you may be wondering, why would that be? There are several compelling biological theories, and most of them revolve around how the brain, the gut, and your metabolism interact as we age. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and acephane potassium are hundreds or even thousands of times sweeter than table sugar. That intense sweetness tricks the brain. Your taste receptors send a message to your brain, big sugar load coming in. In response, your pancreas may release insulin just as it would for real sugar, but the calories never arrive. This mismatch between expectation and reality can confuse and disrupt your body's finely tuned metabolic pathways. Over time, your body may begin to mishandle real sugar, leading to higher blood sugar spikes, more insulin resistance, and greater inflammation throughout your blood vessels. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, tiny organisms that help you digest food, regulate your immune system, and manage inflammation in the body. Emerging research suggests that artificial sweeteners can disrupt the balance of these bacteria, favoring the growth of harmful strains while suppressing beneficial ones. This gut imbalance, called dysbiosis, has been directly linked to systemic inflammation, which, as you now know, is a root cause of arterial damage and stroke. By keeping your taste buds accustomed to extreme sweetness, diet sodas make naturally sweet foods, like fruit, seem dull and bland. They can also lead to increased cravings for processed snacks and desserts throughout the day. This creates a cycle where you keep seeking sweet foods, but your body becomes less able to handle them. So, while we cannot yet say with absolute certainty that artificial sweeteners cause stroke in the way that smoking does, the association is strong, consistent, and persistent. As a doctor, and especially one working with aging brains and hearts, I cannot, in good conscience, recommend these beverages as a safe or healthy alternative. The brain-saving solution. The goal is elimination. The healthiest choice is to wean yourself off of soda entirely, both regular and diet. Your body does not need them. Embrace clean carbonation. If you crave the fizz or the ritual, reach for plain sparkling water, seltzer, or club soda. Add a squeeze of lemon or lime, a few muddled raspberries, or even a sprig of mint. You'll still get the satisfaction of a fizzy drink without the chemical consequences. Brew your own. Unsweetened iced tea, green or black, is another excellent alternative. It's refreshing, it's hydrating, and it is packed with flavonoids, antioxidants that protect your blood vessels. This category is especially dangerous for older adults because it is often disguised in the appearance of health and vitality. You see advertisements featuring energetic athletes. You hear words like performance, electrolytes, and hydration. And you think, I feel tired. Maybe I need a little boost. This is a critical and potentially dangerous misunderstanding. Let's break it into two categories. Energy drinks. Let me be unequivocally clear. These are chemical cocktails that should never be consumed by anyone over the age of 60. They contain massive, unregulated doses of caffeine, often far more than a strong cup of coffee. And they are combined with other stimulants like guarana, ginseng, and taurine. For an older heart, especially one that may have undiagnosed rhythm issues, this powerful stimulant blast can be enough to trigger a condition called atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is an irregular, chaotic heartbeat. It causes blood to pool in the upper chambers of the heart, and pooled blood is clot-prone blood. These clots can travel directly to the brain, causing sudden, disabling strokes. Sports drinks. Now, let us talk about sports drinks, the colorful bottles filled with sweet liquid. These were scientifically designed for a very specific purpose: to replenish fluids, sugars, and electrolytes lost by elite athletes during prolonged, high-intensity exertion. They were never designed for someone simply feeling thirsty after walking the dog or pulling weeds in the garden. For the average older adult, they are a metabolic disaster. They contain a large amount of simple sugar to fuel active muscles, high doses of sodium and potassium to replace sweat losses. But here's the problem. For someone with hypertension, the sudden sodium load is dangerous. It raises blood pressure. For someone with compromised kidney function, the potassium can also build up dangerously, causing irregular heartbeats or worse. They are the wrong tool for the job. The brain-saving solution? Water is king. For 99.9% of your daily hydration needs, plain water is not only the best choice, it is the only correct choice. It is exactly what your body is asking for. DIY electrolyte replacement. On the rare occasion when you've been working in the garden on a hot day, sweating for an hour or more, you can safely make your own sports drink. Take a large glass of water, add a tiny pinch of sea salt, and a generous squeeze of fresh lemon. This mixture rehydrates your body safely and effectively without the sugar or excess sodium of commercial sports drinks. Never touch an energy drink. I will say this again because it is that important. As a doctor advising you on how to live a long and healthy life, my advice is simple and firm. There is no situation in which an energy drink is a safe or healthy choice for you. The cardiovascular risks are simply too high. I hope this is starting to bring you some clarity. This isn't just about listing drinks to avoid. It's about understanding the reason behind the choices. Why these things matter more in an older body. Why something that seems harmless at 30 can quietly become dangerous at 70. Once you understand the why, you no longer have to live in fear. You can start making calm, confident choices, one small step at a time. And now, we have one final point to cover. It is the most important one of all. It is the one mistake that started this entire conversation. The one habit that, if you get it right, makes everything else on this list less dangerous. Get this one thing right, and you'll build a stronger, safer foundation for whatever comes after. Let me show you what it is. We have now arrived at the final and most important point of our conversation. This time, it is not about a drink to avoid. It is about the one drink you must embrace. The single greatest morning mistake that triples your stroke risk is walking out of your bedroom and drinking anything, coffee, tea, juice, milk, before first consuming a large glass of plain, simple water. Let me explain why this is so important. As we discussed at the very beginning,
You wake up in a state of dehydration. Your body has been without water for 6, 7, maybe 8 hours. Your blood becomes thicker, more viscous. Your blood pressure is already naturally rising as a part of your body's wake-up process. This moment, the first hour after you wake up, is the moment of peak cardiovascular vulnerability. If you drink juice, soda, coffee, or anything else before you've had plain water, you are placing even more stress on your system, which is already strained. But when you drink water first, before anything else, you perform a small act of powerful stroke prevention. It's like hitting a reset button on your physiology.
Let me explain what happens when you drink water first thing. It thins your blood. Water is absorbed rapidly into your bloodstream. It lowers the viscosity of your blood, making it easier to flow and less likely to clot. It cushions your arteries. By restoring healthy blood volume, you prevent your heart from having to pump so hard and reduce the shear stress on your arterial walls. It prepares your system. Your kidneys and digestive system are gently activated, so when you do have your coffee or food, your body is ready to process it safely. Every drink we discuss today becomes more dangerous in a dehydrated body. The sugar from coffee or juice hits harder. The caffeine is more jarring. The sodium from sports drinks is more damaging. Water is the foundation. If you build that foundation first, you are immediately safer. The brain-saving solution. The nightstand ritual. The easiest way to make this a non-negotiable habit is to place a large glass of water on your nightstand every single night before bed. Drink before your feet hit the floor. Make it the very first thing you do in the morning, before you check your phone, before you go to the bathroom, before you speak to your spouse. Just sit up and drink the whole glass of water. Make it non-negotiable. Treat this one act with the same seriousness as taking your life-saving medication, because in that first moment of the day, it really is.
Today, we have walked through 5 popular morning drinks: sugary iced coffee, fruit juice, diet sodas, energy drinks, and sports drinks. And we revealed one foundational mistake that makes them all worse: skipping that first crucial glass of water. I know this may feel like a lot to take in, but I want you to walk away today feeling empowered, not overwhelmed. Do not focus on all the things to avoid. Focus on one simple, powerful choice you can make: that first glass of water. From there, you can make better decisions. You can choose to eat a piece of whole fruit instead of drinking juice. You can decide to brew unsweetened iced tea instead of reaching for soda. You can skip the energy drinks completely and know that it is the right thing to do. This is not about a life of restriction. It is about a life of awareness, respect, and conscious care. You have lived many decades. You have taken care of others. Now it is time to give that same care back to yourself. You are the guardian of your brain, and your daily habits are the gatekeepers of your long-term health. Thank you, truly, for spending this time with me today. It is a privilege to have this conversation with you. If even one part of this video gave you clarity or confidence, please do 2 small things to help others find it too. First, give this video a like, so it shows up for people who need this knowledge. Second, hit that subscribe button and join us here at Stroke and Heart Attack. This is not just a channel. It is a community of people choosing to take back control of their health. Your subscription tells us these conversations matter. This work is helping, and that gives us the strength to keep going, to keep researching, writing, and sharing what truly helps. So, please, Start tomorrow morning with a simple glass of water. That small act, it may be the most powerful step you take all day. You have the knowledge now. You have the power. And I promise, you've got this.